Hey friends, it's Rosalind. Welcome back to our gardens and our tiny flower farm. It is September, early fall in the gardens, which means it's a great time to get some of those perennials divided and transplanted because a lot of them are starting to go dormant and we want to get them transplanted before winter settles in so they have time to root in. So two of the plants that we're getting divided and transplanted today is peonies and echinacea. Also, there is some fun things that have been happening around the chicken coop that I wanted to share with you. First of all, our silkies that we got earlier this summer, I think one of them might be a rooster, which is so fun. And I need some name suggestions. I had asked on Instagram and stories for name suggestions on a silky rooster. I loved all the name suggestions, so I would love to hear from you as well. Another thing, this morning when I came out into the chicken coop, one of our hens had baby chicks. I had noticed she'd been sitting on eggs, but never before have any of our hens successfully had baby chicks. So that was a fun surprise to come out to. I'm sure you're going to be seeing more of the baby chicks. They're so cute. All right, back to the task at hand. Before we divide our peonies and our echinacea, I wanted to show this coneflower to you. Isn't this gorgeous? I picked it up last week. I want to see if we can possibly divide it in half and plant it out into the front cut flower garden. All right, I don't know if we can actually divide it, but we're going to see. I use my hori knife to divide all of my perennials. This would be a good place to get it divided. It's right in here. Make sure that they both have a root. All right. And then we have this. Let's go get it planted into the garden. We're out here in the front cut flower garden. We're going to plant the echinacea right in front of the iris. Iris is another one that is great to transplant or divide and transplant in fall. So I got 6 plants from the back cut flower garden and I transplanted them out here last fall. So next spring we should have a beautiful show from the iris out here. But I think these echinacea will be so pretty, like with the earth angel rose and some of the other pink flowers that we have out here. Oh, I think this will be so pretty having this double echinacea in each corner of the perennial cut flower garden. Can you imagine these flowers in cut flower arrangements next summer? So pretty. The first plant that we're going to be dividing and transplanting from is the echinacea. And since purple coneflower is considered an herb, I'm going to take this clump right here and transplant it back into the herb garden. This is a perfect clump. So we're going to cut everything back to about 6 inches above the ground. I'm going to carefully remove this clump. Look at that nice big clump. I think it would be pretty to add the echinacea right up here against the fence since it can grow 2 to 4 feet tall and we could use a little bit of color back here. I think this is going to be so pretty with the anise hyssop, and then we have our flavorette rose right here. There's some lavage back here. There is dill that we mostly leave as a host plant for the swallowtails. And then we'll have our echinacea just fully fill in this spot. I'll still need to come in and get the echinacea watered, but let's go get our peony roots divided first. One more peek at Mama with her baby chicks. Oh, they're so darling. At the entrance of the cut flower garden in front of the 2 fence panels, I have Sarah Bernhardt peonies because they remind me of my grandma and they're my absolute favorite peony. So this is the peony that we're going to be cutting back and dividing from. The first thing we're going to do is cut the stems back to just above ground level. The best time to be dividing your peonies is in the fall from late August to November during their dormant period, meaning they're not actively growing leaves and flowers, which makes the process less stressful on the plant. Fall is when peonies begin to grow new roots for the next year, making this the ideal time to get them divided or to move them and allow for new root establishment. Okay, next we're going to carefully dig around the entire plant so we can lift the root system and the crown from the soil. We want to try and maintain as much of the root system as possible. I'm going to use my hori knife to divide the peony. I want to make sure that it has at least 5 eyes per division. That way we most likely will get blooms off of this next year already. We won't have to wait a few years. I'm going to come in. We have our first division cut off of it. So you can see there's quite a bit of eyes and a nice root system. So I'm going to cut it one more time, but this is just a great way to multiply your peony plants for free around your garden, or you can divide them and give them away as gifts. We now have 3 peony plants where we used to only have 1. Next step is to get them planted. When you plant your divisions, you want to make sure that the eyes are positioned about 1 to 1.5 inches below the soil surface. If we plant it too deeply, it may result in foliage, but no flowers, which we don't want. You want to plant your divisions in full sun. Avoid planting close to trees or shrubs. This just ensures that your peony has good circulation to prevent diseases. Now it's just to water these in very thoroughly, let them sleep over winter, and then next spring we'll get to enjoy some gorgeous blooms. All right, friends, we have those peony roots divided and transplanted. Fall is such a great time to get this done because the air is cooler and yet the soil is still warm. We often get more moisture in September and October than we do in the summer months, and those roots can just quickly get settled in before the winter months. Thank you for being in the garden with me today, friends. Have an amazing week in your own gardens, and I will see you right back here next Saturday. Bye.